What is going on, y'all? This is Chris with NoLimitSquad, your personal Isochain and fitness vlogging channel. Today we're going to have a special guest on the channel, Ted Chrys. I really hope I didn't mess up your last name. I'm pretty sure I said it right. So we have our first Isochain only before and after success story. That's right, he lifted this many weights. Haha, I got you. He didn't lift any weights at all, okay guys? And he got a fantastic before and after photo. Is definitely noticeable, it's definitely recognizable. He was on a calorie deficit, but there were no weights lifted. It was all static contraction, isometric hypertrophy. It does exist, the myth is real. I'm not gonna waste anyone else's time. Let's go into this interview. It's gonna be awesome. Hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah, man, dude, again, congrats on the Dragon Door feature, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. You know, I looked at that and I was like, man, now it's out there.
It's out there,
before
man.
Pictures out there, right?
Yeah. the real show starts now, right?
Yeah.
And I was actually telling a couple of my clients today, the ones that have the Isochain, I was like, dude, you gotta see this. And they were like, oh my God. And it's like, really? Isochain only? I was like, Isochain only, dude.
For sure.
Yes. Okay, well, I just have 12 questions for you.
Okay.
Just feel free to answer them however you want. And in fact, when we finish, if there's anything more that you want to tell us, then, you know, feel free to. We're open.
Sure, man. Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you get the Isochain?
So I've been I was following Matt Schifferly, you know, for a while, and you know, I really liked his approach to a lot of things. He's got a really good channel there, and he actually profiled it, I think, when it was still pre-order. I don't know if it's pre-order, but I guess some of you guys got him early, right? So
Yeah.
And so he was talking about it, going over it, and I thought I was pretty compelled by it. But it wasn't until I saw something that was then on the market. I'm like, you know, this looks really interesting to me, because I'd done some research on isometrics, and you know, I'd come out of you know, I did bands for about a year, and I like bands. You know, bands are, I think, good and are effective, but I do have some kind of I have issues in my hands. You know, I did boxing workouts for like 5 years, and my thumbs and my hands are just aching, and the bands just didn't, the long term wasn't good for me. So and then I went and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And then I saw that and I was like, man, I'm really compelled by that. And so I did a little more research. But yeah, I've always been interested in the research behind isometrics in general.
Okay, sweet. I guess, like, kind of side note for the hand, did you do the finger pull exercise on the chain?
I have not tried that. You know, when I got those hooks that you recommended, but I haven't done any of the pulls, you know, and I'd done some shrugs, and I got issues with my traps.
Okay.
And particularly on this side, and I think either I did something with that, or I was doing some isometric push-ups, and I think it's still sore and tweaky up in here. So I'm trying to avoid, you know, too much heavy stuff with my traps.
Okay.
But I think it's tendons, you know, because the gloves I was wearing had a webbing, and it didn't allow free movement in my thumb. And I'd really hit the bag hard. And I just think over time, I got tendon issues in this thumb and this thumb. And I don't know what to do about it.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like now I'm kind of hesitant to suggest the finger pull on that. I mean, you could always try it, but yeah.
Yeah. I think I will give it a shot, because I do like the, you know, I do need, obviously, grip strength, because I do like to do pull-ups. You know, eventually get back into doing pull-ups. So of course, you know, that's really important to have grip strength there too. So.
Absolutely. Hint, guys, there's going to be a video on 2 most important things to, like, exercises to use on the Isochain, and spoiler alert, grip is one of them. So that's all I'm going to say about it.
Got it.
Next, so I think it's really important for a lot of us out there. Were you skeptical about the Isochain and what it could do for you?
You know, I think I was at first. When I get interested in something, I kind of let it simmer. You know, I look at something, I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and then I kind of back off, and I let it simmer, and I come back to it, and you know, so it takes me some time to kind of process the information. so I was sold on isometrics in general. What I didn't, and I guess one of the things that I was a little skeptical of is, you know, it's just a spring and a hook and a chain,
Right.
You know, but the concept of that type, and, you know, being on a 1,000-pound spring or whatever the 1,000-pound rating is, or the rating is in that spring, it made intuitive sense. I just didn't know if it would translate into your standard lifts, you know, like
Right.
you would have in the gym.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah. Kind of similar, dude. I can't tell you how many times I read their sales page. You were probably the same, just like
Yeah.
But at the end of it, I guess it made sense for us.
Yeah.
It kind of segues into the next question. So you've been using it for a while now. Do you think the price point was worth it for what you got?
I absolutely do, you know, and so that was another thing. It took me a little while to process. And, but I kind of thought about within the context of what I wouldn't spend on the gym.
Right.
You know, going to the gym, and, you know, the gym has all the complications gyms have, and gyms are great. You know, I just personally don't like to wait in line for the machines, you know, the Smith machine or whatever, you know, they have a Smith machine where I was going, or the free weights, the dumbbells, you know, that's just something that just was not appealing to me, because I go and I want to work out, you know, right. I want to go do my thing and I want to go home. So I gotten used to, with the bands, gotten used to doing stuff at home.
Okay.
So, but I didn't feel like I could get the heavy stuff with the bands, because just kind of the nature of how they moved.
Right.
Some people can and get a lot of success and muscle growth out of it. I just didn't. So I thought that you know, it was something I'd splurge on, but, you know, it took a little while for me to see the value in it. You know, because there's price and there's value, and so eventually, you know, where you might get a hiccup on price, then you have to convince yourself that it's a value. And so in the 1 year warranty, I mean, you know, rip money back guarantee is pretty tight on that. So I think the issue is the electronics, right?
Yes.
It's the readout, and I love it. And yes. What I love behind that is the fact that, you know, you go to the gym and you're not going to get a 1/4 pound weights that you could slap on for your next progression, right? But with the chain, you know, I can measure what I did Monday on Wednesday, and it may only be a 1/2 pound, but it's progress.
Right.
And it's progress I can measure.
Yes.
And even if it's a small amount, it's progress I can measure.
Absolutely.
And that is everything. So you know that you're getting the electronics, and it works.
Yes, totally agree with you, Ted. Totally agree. So what exercises have you performed? I know you did the burn count, but have you like what have you done with it so far?
So yeah, I did the burn count, and then I did 3 days on for a couple of weeks. And, you know, since I was at a calorie deficit, it just wiped me out. I mean, I just felt like I hit a wall. I wasn't progressing. I'd get to about 35 seconds, and I couldn't get past 40. You know, I couldn't, you know, I could get past it. I seemed to be able to get to 20, 25, 30, 35, but I just couldn't break it. And I really, I got disappointed with it, you know, at that progress. And I felt like, you know, I'm just not getting the calories I need to kind of break through to get that continued progress. So I switched back to Promethean. I love the Promethean. I think I'm gonna stick with that. I've been back on that a number of weeks now. I'm gonna stick with that for a while. Just kind of build that you know, that basic strength, the deadlifts, the presses, the curls, and just get strong with those. And you know, I'm really excited about the progress I made in those exercises for sure.
Sweet. Do you like the what's Promethean is? It's 6x6, right?
6x6, yeah. 6x6 deadlift, curls, and shoulder press.
And shoulder press. Do you like that? Like, do you like the 6x6? You do?
I do. I'm probably going to pivot back to probably burn count, because, you know, over the next week or two, because, you know, I'm kind of I'm going to the beach in July, so I've got myself on a, you know, I'd like to really kind of hit that. Now my calories are up. I'd like to hit the you know, that hypertrophy again. Yeah. And then I'll probably do a couple weeks cut before we go to the beach, because I still need to lose some pounds. I mean, you know, like I said, I'm at 22%. I really want to get below 20. I'd really like to get close to 17 or 16 if I can. It's a goal, you know, we'll see what we can get.
Yeah. Yep. You said July, right?
July.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. My body can endure in terms of the deficit. and I know what my RMR is because I got my RMR when I got my last DEXA scan. So I know that if I, my RMR is 2262, so I'm just under 2300 if I do nothing all day. So I know that is anything above that is a good thing. So I'm trying to keep my calories right now between 23 and 24.
Okay.
Because they had been probably about 19 before.
Okay.
And I can feel the results. So I'm just trying to bump that up a little bit at a time, just to see what kind of progress I can get.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Sweet. Yeah, that was just that wasn't even on the. I was just curious.
Yeah.
When I think this is a good one. When did you start noticing a difference in your body? And when you did notice it, like what were the differences you noticed?
I think the differences I noticed was. I think I probably attribute that to the neural effect.
Yeah.
So because my numbers when I first opened the thing out of the box, I'm just like, what is this? It was like moving a house. I mean, it was my body wasn't used to any of that, and it just seemed almost impossible. I mean, it's like looking up at a sheer cliff and thinking you have to climb it. I mean, physically, that's how I felt.
Yeah.
But I'd say after about a week or two, I felt like I was getting more accustomed to it. My body was getting more accustomed to it. But I'd say those first couple of weeks, it was a really kind of a shock.
Okay.
Because I hadn't been doing any resistance training for a number of months, and I got fat over the, in the last fall.
Right.
Peanut butter became my best friend over a period, for a couple of months. So I didn't even have the bands, that I'd been working before.
Oh.
So I was going from months of nothing to the chain.
Okay.
And so I'd say about 2 weeks, I started feeling like flexibility, strength, because I think one of the things that chain will do when you work on it regularly, you know your weaknesses, you know where your body's weak, and you know how your body moves, and so it's a top to bottom health thing, and I kind of felt it all throughout, I just felt stronger, more flexible, and that was probably maybe about 3 weeks in.
Okay. So 3. Okay. Yeah, that's about when I started noticing, like, this is different,
Yeah.
But
it's good stuff.
So, sweet. Okay. So you're moving a little bit away, but not really. What was your food intake and calories like during the 4 months?
Yeah. So, So starting mid-January, like the day I had my before picture, I started down. My goal was to, about 800 or 900 calories deficit a day.
Okay.
So I was doing half of that in calories, half of that in walking 6 miles.
Okay.
So because the last time I did a cut like five months. I don't know why I ever gained the weight back that I gained, because cutting is painful. So I'd gone through like 5 months of cutting, like, in the summer before last. And I took it all out of calories. And that was really hard. And I thought, man, let's see if we can do something different. Let's start walking. I don't like to do a lot of other types of cardio. I don't like to run anymore. I used to run. So I did the walking, like I said, about 12,000 steps a day. And then the rest of the balance of the calorie deficit I got from taking out of my diet. So I would say I was probably, around 1,900 to 2,000 calories.
Okay.
Intake.
Okay. And so okay, 800. Okay, yeah, you were definitely. All right, cool. Okay, I was just curious. You were on, you said the burn count Promethean. At most, like, how long did those Isochain sessions take you to do from start to finish?
Well, I'd like to say they were quick, but I needed extra rest. I'm old. So, but I got the app, and that's really, really helpful for me, the exercise app. And so I would say I probably take a little bit longer breaks than whatever that was initially. So it was more than, it maybe been closer to 45 minutes, including the warm up and the cool down.
Okay.
That I can remember. Now those are two. So the hypertrophy is that there's 2 sets, and each is 20 to 40, and then I'm not sure what the rest is between the sets. But now on the Promethean, It does take me closer to probably 45 minutes, which is probably a little bit long, but I feel like I need the extra rest. But if you wanted to rip it out, you really could. I mean, you could do it. I think you could do it probably in 35 minutes.
Agreed. Yeah, when I shot the video, I was like, oh, this is gonna be like 15 minutes. I'm like, whoa, no.
Yeah. I thought it would be like, yeah, man, it's like a 20-minute workout. And
No.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Have you tried your dynamic equivalent in any of these exercises that you've been getting like 1 RMs? I mean, high isochain numbers for?
No, I haven't, and I'm really interested. Part of me is like, maybe I should go sign up, the gym for like a month and just to check out what I can do, because I'm really interested in that. I'm really interested to know how that would translate. I tweaked before I even did the bands, I tweaked my back on a deadlift. So, I've got this kind of mental block about deadlifts with the free weights. And back problems. I mean, so, I'd like to know. I'd like to know what the relevance was. Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So 4 months, would you say that you are pretty satisfied with your results?
Yeah, I had higher goals for myself going into it. I was hoping to get closer to 20 pounds fat loss. I was hoping to get, at least 5 pounds gain, but didn't happen. But I would say when I look at the fact that I lost 13 fat pounds with no muscle loss,
right?
And the fact that I was able to exponentially increase my strength on the existing lean mass that I already have.
Right.
That was a game changer when I actually was able to step back and look at the data, and not just take out the emotions of it, just take the emotions out of it and look at the data and thinking, yeah, that's something that I could be satisfied with for sure.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what kind of benefits I would have had in different types of, dynamic lifting. I don't have it to necessarily to compare it to, but I do believe that it's the Isochain has helped that strength element. I mean, it's crazy. The exact didn't even change quarter pound, and all that fat loss. So I'm really satisfied with that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
You guys see that? You guys see he's living proof. It works. What did you think? So one of the things that I really find interesting, because this is happening now with 2 of my clients. I actually have a Isochain only client. She just started 3 weeks ago, and I have another one who is in a very similar situation. Their lean muscle mass is not really changing that much, but they feel the strength. They feel, and they, of course, they see on the display reading, everything is shooting up. What did you think about the lean muscle mass not changing?
I was disappointed. When I went in for the scan, the guy who did the scan said, "Man, you crushed it." And I'm like, "All right, bring it." He's like, "Well, your fat loss was this 13 pounds." I was like, "Man, I wanted 20 pounds." And he said, and you're able to maintain your muscle mass. I'm like, "Man, what?" Not 1 pound to change. But I feel like they're denser. I mean, my biceps are denser,
Yes.
and I'm on, granted, I'm on creatine. I'm taking creatine too. So you've got that fluid element. So they feel fuller. I got the energy there, and I just know that I can feel that. So,
right.
It's in my mind. It's I feel like, well, if I'm getting stronger, then I must be putting on muscle. Not necessarily.
Correct.
And I've come to terms with that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy, like I said, happy with that. And the significant strength gains have just shown me, like John said, on the page, I'd rather be strong than necessarily muscular. I'd like to have both. But but if I had one over the other, particularly the older you get, it's important to maintain that strength.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yep. I just one of my clients just came back. I love him. I've been working with him since 2016. He's in his early, almost mid 70s now.
Nice.
And literally like the whole 2020, I was like, dude, can you just wait for the Isochain? And he's like, dude, all you talk about is the Isochain. I was like, I promise you, it's gonna change your life. So he actually he just came back. He just got both his shots. So now he's like, all right, let's do this. I was like, yes. Yeah. He's already strong. He's already. So it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to make a video on that. So why? I feel like now I already know the answer from the other questions, but I still want to ask, why did you focus on isometric hypertrophy in the beginning? Yeah, so in the beginning, so I was part of a fitness transformation competition. And so I'm what you call skinny fat. So, low muscle mass, high fat, so if you've got enough muscle mass, you can carry 22% just fine. Yep. A guy with lean mass carries 22, it doesn't look so good. So I knew I could lose fat quickly. I could put it on quickly. I could take it off quickly. There's not much science behind just calorie deficit. Right. Exactly. But I know that I need a bigger frame. So I need more muscularity and more lean mass. So that was why I focused on the hypertrophy. Okay. Awesome. And one of the things that I really liked when I made that hypertrophy video a couple months back is when I was reading the isometric manual, I really didn't think, based off of what I knew, I certainly don't pretend to ever know everything, but I was like, you can't really get big off of that. And then I'm reading Paul Wade's stuff and I'm like, and it just, all I do is like, I relate it back to what I learned to get certified. I'm just like, but it makes sense logically. Right. Like if that's really true, then you really can expand because you do need muscle fatigue. So I'm like, he's not wrong. It's just weird. It's just weird because it's so new, Yeah. So. Yeah. One of the things that I forgot to mention about that, about either resist or the dynamic training, whether it's the free weights or bands, is of course, everything's time under tension. Yep. And so my issue with both the bands and being in the gym is, am I giving it enough tension? Right. Am I chasing reps, or am I time under tension? So I felt the Isochain was perfect for that. Yes. It was perfect for me to resolve the issue about time under tension, because I know 6 seconds, 20 seconds, 35 seconds, I'm under tension. There is just no question about it. So yes. Totally agree. That was a big deal for me. That to me was probably the biggest selling point was I will know that I'm under tension for a significant period of time, minimum 6 seconds and upwards from there. Yes. Yeah. And that's why I tell people when explaining it, I was like, listen, you guys are probably tired of me saying this, like the whole display changed the game. The whole display has changed the game. It really has, especially with the Moses just icing on the cake. Yeah, it's huge. Oh my goodness, it's amazing. The last thing is really kind of cutesy, I guess. Who would you recommend the Isochain to? I've already recommended to several folks that I know. Either my son he's back he's going to be getting back from college here soon. He was doing it, from December to when he went back after the Christmas break, and so I think he was seeing the benefits of that. I'd also recommend it to probably anybody who's in the same situation I am. I was, just because you're low muscle mass now doesn't mean you have to live that way or make excuses. There's no excuse. There's people like yourself, 12 years in the gym. And you look like you've been 12 years in the gym, right? I'm not there, but I just know what I need to do to make the change. So, people that would be in my situation, my age, particularly if you're over 50, you're going to start losing that mass if you don't, what you have, and unless you work it. Young people, certainly the fountain of youth, you've got those hormones that you can, get into shape pretty quickly. And elderly, for sure. Yes. Just to trying to get that lean mass back. I think even into those later ages, your body can still produce it. I think you can still, work on that. And, if you can lift yourself out of a chair, you can keep yourself out of a nursing home. You know what I mean? That is everything. Yep. Everything. Yep. All right. That's pretty much it. Did you have anything that you wanted to tell us, or? No, I think I pretty much covered it. I think the issues, I guess if I just sum it up, I'd say what was compelling to me about the Isochain, I think would be compelling to anybody, is if you're struggling with
trying to figure out, am I giving it enough time under tension? What are the, what's my progress without getting hurt, without injuring yourself, trying to get 5 more pounds or 10 more pounds or using bad form.
Yeah.
This is a great tool for that. Because like I said, you could look at that readout and you're like, yeah, it's only 0.2, but it's progress.
Yes, that 0.2 is everything.
And that's it. And then you measure it, keep measuring, and then eventually you find yourself with some crazy numbers, I mean, I tried to, I don't know if you got my text from earlier, but I've been trying to hit 300 on deadlift, and
yes.
I got to 299.4, and I was like, I just wanted to tell Chrys I got the 300. But I started in December at 80 pounds, first out of the box. I was like, what is this? And so 80 pounds to 300 in 4 months.
Yes.
I mean,
3 times increase, guys. Ridiculous.
Yep. I'm excited about that.
Yes. Yeah, what was it? Eric that pulled that 8. Was it him?
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, jeez.
What is happening? I know.
Like, you got me beat, dude.
I mean, honestly, even if it's not necessarily 1 for 1, to me, it doesn't matter. I mean, because it's relative. It's
right.
relative to what I'm measuring.
Correct.
It was hard in December.
Yes.
It's hard now. It was 80 then. It's almost 300 now.
Yep.
So
amazing. That means all the world to anyone that's gonna purchase this thing. And I'm gonna do more of these, guys. The main purpose is just to understand that this Isochain affects everyone differently, but we're all gonna see these great strength gains. Just remember that the 5% superhuman strength gain thing. It seems like, oh, that's so, like, no, it's the real deal. Yeah, and now there's living proof. Everyone on the squad, like, we're just getting amazing results that I've been training clients for years, and it's just before a non-Isochain client and an Isochain client, you can see it. You can see the difference. It's insane. So well, that's pretty much all I got for today. Cool, thanks for coming on here, Ted. I really appreciate it, man.
You bet. My pleasure.
Yes, sir. All right, we'll see you in the next one.
All right, man. Take care.
You too. All right, bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.